Hey guys, it's Gawain, and today we are going to be taking a look at one of the simplest operators in Rainbow Six Siege, Frost. Frost is a 2-speed 2-armor operator that specializes in trapping and killing enemies. Frost has relatively decent guns, bulletproof secondary gadgets, and an easy-to-use primary gadget. Creative Frost players dominate lobbies by frustrating and killing enemies with ease. So let's learn how to play her. Frost is equipped with her snapper traps, of which she gets 3. These traps are essentially just flat, rectangular bear traps made to blend in with the floor. These traps take 3 seconds to deploy and can only be deployed on a flat, horizontal surface such as the floor and tables. But most tables aren't actually big enough to fit your welcome mats on, so for all intents and purposes, they can only be deployed on the floor. When an attacker steps on one of your snappy traps, they will be downed immediately, but they can't move because their leg is literally being held by a bear trap. These traps have one purpose: to down enemies. But they can also be used to gather intel because each of your traps have 100 HP, which can be reset by picking it up and placing it down again, as long as the health ball didn't go down to 0. What I'm trying to get at here is that when your frost mat gets destroyed or shot at, you will know where the enemy is coming from. Furthermore, when an enemy gets trapped, there is a distinct sound cue to notify you that one of your traps got triggered. Try your best to get to that trap and finish the kill if possible, as you will hopefully gain a man advantage from it, rather than just a health advantage. Placing these traps where enemies are unlikely to see them or more likely to walk into them when not paying attention is key. Place them predominantly under windows, as that will force attackers to either look down and shoot your trap, taking their crosshairs away from you, or they will just jump into your trap and get downed. You can place your traps at the top of staircases or in other sneaky spots like next to doorways and other bits of cover enemies won't expect them in to get an easy down. I personally tried to put 2 mats beneath windows in or around sight, and my final one somewhere creative or unexpected. Just remember to try not to get spotted by a drone when placing your slightly more creative mats, or just any in general, as that will alert the enemy to their position. That being said, they may forget to destroy the mats and catch the enemy off guard later in the round. It's also likely that the person who spotted you placing your frost mat won't actually communicate that back to the team, so you may still be able to catch an enemy or 2 out with it. That's it for Frost's primary gadget. Just place them under windows and other sneaky spots to get free downs. This is most effective on maps like Consulate, where window play is heavily relied upon. Frost's primary weapon options are the Super 90 shotgun and the 9mm C1 submachine gun. Her secondary weapon options are the Mark 1 9mm handgun and the ITA-12S shotgun. I personally use and recommend the C1 paired with the ITA-12S. The C1 is a decent SMG with an alright damage stat and a pretty bad fire rate if I'm honest, but it's paired with a large magazine size and low recoil, as well as access to the 1.5x scope. The ITA-12S isn't good in combat at all, but it's a great sight setup tool. These 2 weapons in combination make for a good loadout, as you have a gun for long-ranged engagements and a pocket shotgun to make rotate holes and sight lines in and around sight. As for the Super 90, it's a semi-automatic shotgun which isn't brilliant, so I definitely recommend the C1 over it, but if you want to have some fun with a shotgun, then go for it. The MK1 is a decent pistol with decent iron sights for a pistol. I much prefer the pocket shotgun, but I do have black ice on the pistol, so that's cool I guess. I don't really see an actual reason for you to choose the pistol over the shotgun, so go with the C1 and ITA-12S for the optimal loadout. It's also worth noting that the ITA-12S can be used to make footholes where your frost mats are, so if an enemy jumps in them, then you can shoot them from afar with your C1's 1.5 scope. In terms of secondary gadgets, Frost gets access to a singular deployable shield or a singular bulletproof camera. I opt for the deployable shield because you can play behind it, sniping enemies from afar with your C1, or place a snapper trap behind it to potentially catch enemies off guard. The bulletproof camera can be good to spot enemies coming your way, or place it watching over a frost mat to check if someone falls into it. I prefer the deployable shield myself because you can play off of it more actively, but it is completely up to you. To kick off the prep phase, try and place down the frost mat you think that the enemy is most likely to get trapped in, because then the drones are less likely to spot you placing it down. After that, shoot any drones you see and place your other 2 mats down before placing your deployable shield or bulletproof camera. Make rotates and sight lines if necessary with your pocket shotgun, and either get into position to roam or anchor. Frost can do either due to her speed rating and relatively good gun, but I like to play around my traps, so I tend to anchor more. To kick off the action phase, get on default cams and check the outside ones to alert your team where the enemy is pushing from and hold angles around that area. You can try to take as many gunfights as possible because your gadgets have already been placed, so your job has already been done essentially. Try to pick up a kill or 2, even if they are just through your traps. Play around your deployable shield if you have one to give yourself an advantage when in gunfights. If you hear a trap go off, approach it cautiously, as there may be someone waiting for you, so be prepared for a gunfight, win that, and finish your trap kill as well. Search for more kills during the round, and kill the person planting if you need to. Don't go completely monkey brain, but keep your eye out for kills. Frost has 2 counters: bullets and explosives. Her traps aren't electronic, so won't pop up on IQ's scanner or be disabled by EMPs. To avoid bullets, hide your mats in spots enemies won't see them, but other than that there isn't much you can do. That being said, you're still going to know where the enemy is coming from because they have shot your mat as well, so it's not that big of a deal if they do get shot out. The same goes for explosives, but if you keep putting a mat behind a deployable shield that keeps getting blown up, then maybe don't put it there anymore, especially because no one's going to go out of their way to frag grenade a singular frost mat. Place a couple of your snapper traps beneath window jump-ins or vault prompt spots to catch enemies that don't drone off guard. Use the C1's 1.5x scope to engage enemies long range and hopefully pick them off with ease. Try to hide one frost mat in a spot that enemies will never suspect to make them rage and give you a health advantage when in gunfights at the minimum. Use the ITA-12S to create rotate holes, pop hatches, and make sightlines within sight. You can also use it to play vertically if you want to roam and go above or below sight. Learn how to distract the enemy by engaging them in gunfights to hopefully lure them into one of your traps while they're tunnel visioned on you. Overall, Frost is an easy operator to play in my opinion because of her straightforward gadget, easy to use guns, and a simple role within the team. The only thing to learn is hiding her snapper traps, so they don't get shot out easily every round. Learn how to hide Frost's mats effectively, how to maximize her guns and secondary gadgets, and you are sure to become a pretty decent Frost player. Thank you all for watching, I do hope you enjoyed. If you found this guide helpful in any way, shape or form, please consider subscribing and sharing it with your friends. It does help grow the channel, which is much appreciated. As always, all the clips you saw in the video were taken from my Twitch stream, link will be on screen and in the description. Lion is next for the final Rainbow Six Siege video of 2022, so I hope you'll check that one out as well. I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye. I think it was blue. So I just realized I got a guy in the frost mat over there and he left. What a pussy.